for this evening to talk about Organ Donor Awareness Month. And not being able to talk about it when he's given the prize, I'd like to take 2 seconds and say that I am an organ donor because of Butch. Many of us here are organ donors because of Butch and his testimony, his living testimony. And I can tell you that I am a living testament to Butch's liver transplant, because if it hadn't have been for his liver transplant, I wouldn't be here in the legislature. He was the deciding vote when I was applying to run. So with that having been said, please, Butch. Apparently it's either all because of you or all your fault. Anyway.
You used to like you, Butch.
I figured that might bias a few of you. Welcome everybody, hello. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the privilege of the floor. Thank you to my legislators for putting up with me for these 8 or 9 years. 10 years ago, I was blessed with a liver transplant. I waited 8 years. You're gonna see me tear up because I just can't help it. I waited 8 years for my miracle of life. I suffered a lot. My wife, Barry, was with me, got me through a lot of it. My faith got me through a lot. Good doctors. But without a donor, all the prayers and all the doctors in the world could not have saved my life. New York State prides itself on being such a forward, intelligent, brilliant state. We are the worst state in the nation in organ donation awareness. Yes, I will say it again, we are the worst state in the nation. The national average is 48%, and New York State is under 24. I think it's like 22%. It's embarrassing. When you sit here and you realize that Mississippi and Alabama are ahead of us, what does that say for the great Empire State? In New York, there's over 10,000 people waiting for a transplant. Every 15 hours, somebody in New York dies waiting for a transplant. In America, there's over 123,000 people waiting for a transplant. But these are numbers. Look in your communities. Every week, every other week, there's stories of people needing kidneys, livers. It's life, friends. It's life. Since my transplant 10 years ago, I've been able to help my community. I've been able to see my granddaughter. I've been able to start and almost complete a September 11th memorial for the town and community of New Paltz, something I'm very proud of. Thank you, Hector. Did I get your check in? Thank you. You know, we all try to be better people every day. We try to do good. We try to help. If you just think about it, signing up online or at the motor vehicle, telling your family you want to be an organ donor, look at all the good you can do. Lives will be saved. Families will be impacted. When I got my transplant, not only did my family benefit, but my donor's family now knows that Frankie's liver lives on in me, and the good that I do is because of him and their gift. How can you not do it? We're not going to knock on your door tomorrow and say, can I have your liver, Jim? We're not going to do it. Ronnie, you're safe for a few more years, I promise. But when the time comes, and it comes to all, the fact that your family can have the comfort of knowing that lives were saved, that's immeasurable. You've all heard my story. You know my spiel. Today is the anniversary of my friend Levon Helm's passing. I'm wearing my last waltz tie in his memory. Just think, Phil Lesh, Greg Allman, the hideous David Crosby. None of those people would be making the beautiful music they're making. My friend Richie Haywood from Little Feat died waiting for a liver transplant. So friends, before I bring up and introduce these other wonderful friends of mine, please just consider, go online, donatelifenewyork.org, go downstairs to Nina, sign up there, tell your family, because it's the gift of life, and there's nothing more precious than life, and I'm here to tell you, there's nothing more precious than life. I'd like to bring up a wonderful human being, my friend Tara. The liver is the only organ kind of that can regenerate. And if you want to be a living donor, you can donate a kidney while you're still alive, and you can donate your liver while you're still alive, a part of it. And Tara, please come on up here and share your amazing miracle story with us.
Hi, I'm Tara Salerno. I'm actually a living liver donor. My sister needed a liver transplant, and so exactly 3 months ago today, we had the surgery to remove the right lobe of my liver and transplant it into her. But it all started back in 2008, 2009. Just through regular blood work, they found out that her liver had an issue, and then it turned out to be primary sclerosing cholangitis, which is an autoimmune disease. So it attacks your bile ducts, which then causes the bile to back up and damage your liver. And so they had told her you could go a few years without really seeing any symptoms, which turned out to be what happened, because then in 2013, the end of 2013, she ended up getting really sick, ended up in the hospital, and then throughout 2014, she was in and out of the hospital several times. At one point, she ended up with Legionella's disease and some other infections. So she had been going to Strong Memorial up in Rochester, and they actually told us you could get a living liver donor since the wait for a deceased donor is so long, and you may not get one. So I went through the process there of the screening, which takes several months. There's a whole slew of people you meet with. It's not just medical testing. You actually meet with a psychiatrist, a social worker, a financial person, all kinds of stuff. MRIs, CTs, just check your liver, make sure everything's good there. Lots of blood work. They, after a few months, came back and said, "Oh, you're a great candidate, except we don't have enough surgeons to do the surgery." So they need 3 surgeons at a minimum to do the surgery, because what they'll do is they'll remove the donor's liver, and in an adjacent OR, they'll start to take out the recipient's diseased liver and then transplant the new liver in. And there's only certain surgeons that are qualified to do live donor. So they weren't able to get one. They were in the process of hiring one. So then we decided to go to Westchester Medical. Is there another hospital that could do it? I had to go through all the testing again there. Then they came back and said they thought my liver volume was too small, so I couldn't be her donor. Needless to say, she was devastated. So then our third sister actually went through the screening, told her she was a good candidate, but then one of their surgeons apparently left that department. So now they were short a surgeon. We couldn't believe that actually happened again. Although it all worked out for the best, because then we went to New York Presbyterian in New York City. And I again went through all this screening, but they've sped it up and managed to do it in about 2 different days. I had to go down there. They came back and said, "No, you're a great candidate." And the best part was my surgeon down there is Dr. Samstein, who's quite ahead of, I guess, other hospitals and surgeons. So he's been doing it laparoscopically for the donor when they're taking out the left lobe. But what he had done is last August he took out the right lobe for another donor, first time done in the U.S., and I turned out to be the second time it was done in the U.S. So instead of having, you can see a cut like this, I just have a few smaller incisions where they stuck their tools in and cut your liver, and then they make a bikini line cut and somehow get your liver from up here, pull it down through and out. It's kind of crazy. And they were rather excited, because even when I was in the ICU, one of the girls, I think she was a resident, she must have been in on the surgery, she came in all excited, like, "Can I see your scars? Because I haven't seen this surgery done before." And so, yeah, they were phenomenal there. All the surgeon, all the nurses, everybody there. And my sister did amazingly well. Immediately, the liver started working for her. They saw her color come back to normal while she was still in the ICU very quickly. So I stayed in the hospital for a week and then went home. And like I said, this was exactly 3 months ago. I basically feel like nothing even happened to me. My sister's doing well. She had to stay in the hospital for about 2 weeks and then was discharged. And they now follow her every week. She has blood work done. And the blood work is sent to near Presbyterian, and she goes for a lot more follow-up visits than I do. But they did catch several weeks ago, her liver enzymes skyrocketed, so they knew something was going on. They suspected it was rejection, so they had her go back down. They did a biopsy, and sure enough, yeah, she was starting to reject the liver. So they admitted her to the hospital, pumped her full of IV steroids to reverse the rejection, and it worked. So she stayed there for several days, and then she's now back home, and last week her liver numbers were completely back to normal. So she's doing good. She, throughout this whole ordeal, she actually went to nursing school and graduated from nursing school. So they tell her she has to wait at least 6 months to start working, but she's hoping now to get a job in the nursing field. And a month ago, I actually went back. But yeah, it was quite an ordeal. Went on for 2 years, 3 hospitals, but we ended up in the best place possible. And yeah, it all worked out great. So I'd highly recommend. You don't necessarily need to be a living donor if you don't want to, but at least when you do pass away, it'd be great to pass on your organs. Thanks.